Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second part of our 2021 Japan-U.S. Innovation Awards Symposium. I'm Richard Dasher. I direct the U.S. Asia Technology Management Center at Stanford University, and we're very pleased to cooperate with the Japan Society of Northern California in producing these awards. I am also the chair of the steering committee of the awards program, and so I'm going to be your host today. We have an exciting day today where we will have our keynote presentation by Ms. Tomoko Namba, and we will have the showcase of 5 exceptional Japanese startup companies that we think will be of particular interest to audiences Silicon Valley worldwide. So the first part of the program that happened last week included our Emerging Leader Awards, and the Sunbridge Emerging Leader Awards and our prior winner report from Mike So, the CEO of Cloudian, are available on the internet on YouTube, and this program today will be available within about a week. So please check the Society's website or the website usjinnovate.org in order to access the videos of today's program. We're delighted to start off by asking Mr. Jason Gettleman of Morgan, Lewis and Bacchius to give brief kind of comments as one of the sponsors of our program. Jason, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Richard. Morgan Lewis would just like to thank all of the hosts of this year's symposium and all of those participants in this event. We'd like to congratulate Sunbridge Emerging Leader winners, Astra Scale and Color, and congratulate the innovative showcase companies who you will all, if you have not already, hear from and learn about how they're really outstanding examples of creativity and entrepreneurship and a real dedication for improving society. Very, very impressive. Like many of you, I'm sure you'll be, after you hear the showcases, you'll be looking forward to following the success of these companies in the coming years. And next time we meet, hopefully in person, we'll be able to look back and reflect on this year's wonderful exhibition. So again, on behalf of Morgan Lewis, my partner Nancy Yamaguchi, who you met last week, and many of you are familiar with her, and my colleagues in Silicon Valley and Tokyo, thank you again for attending this year's symposium.
Jason, thank you very much for those kind remarks. And we appreciate your support of the awards program a great deal. I'm very honored and privileged to be able to introduce Ms. Tomoko Namba as our keynote speaker. Ms. Namba has always been a trailblazer. After she earned her MBA from the Harvard Business School, she was only the 3rd Japanese woman in history to be named a partner at McKinsey & Company. While working at McKinsey, she had an idea and she founded DNA Company in Tokyo in 1999. Then, as CEO, she grew the firm into a major Japanese mobile content and services company and a worldwide technology conglomerate. Continuing on the DNA board, after stepping down from CEO in 2011, she became the company's executive chairman from 2017. She's recently founded and serves as managing partner of Delight Ventures, an early-stage venture capital firm. This year, Ms. Namba made history again when she became the first woman ever to be named a vice chair of the Japan Business Federation, the Keidanren. This is the first time ever in the 75-year history of this very powerful industry association. So we're delighted that Ms. Namba can be with us today. If you have questions, we'll have a minute or two for questions at the end of her presentation. Please put them in the chat box and we'll get to as many of them as we can. So Ms. Namba, the floor is yours. Thank you so much, Namba-san. I would like to ask Dai, your other partner in Delight Ventures, to kind of wave your hand and say hello. After we finish the main part of the program today, we're going to have breakout discussions, and Mr. Watanabe, Dai Watanabe, is going to lead a session about Delight Ventures. So we hope that everyone will spend some time in that room as well. Ms. Namba, thank you so much for your comments. I really hope that if you come back to us in another 10 years, we'll see an even more impressive Japanese entrepreneurial ecosystem. And hopefully we will all have played a little part in that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the symposium. Bye now.
Thank you. So I would like to ask a couple of our seed sponsors to give brief and informative presentations. Our first presentation is going to be by Mr. Noboyuki Baba, the Senior Vice President and Manager of the Silicon Valley branch of Mitsubishi Corporation. Mr. Baba, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Let me share the slide that I prepared. But Ms. Namba's presentation was so impressive, and I thought that especially the Q&A part was talking about our company. So what company I'm in will be introduced from now. Let me start the slide here. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Noboyuki Baba, General Manager of the Silicon Valley branch office of Mitsubishi Corporation of Americas. So please let me start by expressing my greatest gratitude to all the stakeholders of 2021 Japan-US Innovation Awards Symposium for giving me this opportunity to explain about ourselves and our activities. I'm quite used to present and talk in front of an audience, but tonight I'm a little bit nervous because this is my first time to make a presentation sitting on the chair, facing my PC, looking at myself on the screen. And this is something that I haven't experienced before, but understanding this could be the new normal after the epidemic. I have to get used to it. And again, in that sense, I would like to thank all of you for giving me this chance to get used to this new pattern of presentation. As I introduced myself in the beginning, I'm now representing Silicon Valley branch office. This branch office is one of the 6 branch offices of Mitsubishi Corporation of Americas, MCA. And MCA is 100% owned by MC Tokyo and managing overall activities in North American regions. Along with the Washington office, this branch is categorized as Intelligent Gathering Hub, where Washington office gathers political topics. Silicon Valley branch office gathers topics related to technology and innovations. Mitsubishi Corporation as a whole, we have several similar offices, not only in the US, but also in worldwide global basis. And Silicon Valley branch office is thought to be a center of global intelligence network because this office is earliest established among of these offices that are on the slide right now. The Silicon Valley office have 4 missions. One is to support MC Group companies. MC Group companies are the consolidated companies of MC, and we have over 200 companies in North American regions. Silicon Valley office support their digital transformation, as well as MCG companies to save and gain the profit by using digital technologies. Second is market development. All MC Group companies are managed by the line of business group in Tokyo. In collaboration with these business groups, and by cross-organizing and integrating individual power services companies, we believe we can cultivate new business market in distribution. We also have a great confidence that if we could tag with other leading Japanese companies, our goal of new market development can be achieved much faster and in much bigger scale. To realize this idea, we established MLab in our office, which I would like to introduce you in detail. MLab is a gathering of Japanese leading companies who have same MVV, mission, vision, and value. Our goal is not just an intelligence gathering, nor transforming our corporation, our companies, but also co-create the new value by mixing each company's competitive functions and assets. We eagerly and aggressively collaborate with each other and outside ecosystem, including venture capitalists, accelerators, academics, and others. Through our activities, we believe that we could become a mentor for the startups to grow, a partner to support startups to enter into Japanese market, and we can be end users who can provide an opportunity to appeal the value of the startups by using the services of the startups. And the fourth and the last mission is to develop and maintain the good relationship with social economy in this region. As a part of a society and economy, it is essential to contribute to the development and growth of the region. With this in mind, I'm looking forward to tag and cooperate with the members here in this event tonight and to realize and create the value together. Thank you for listening to my presentation. And sorry to end my presentation Japanese, but 今後ともどうぞよろしくお願いいたします。Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Baba. That's great. You can stop sharing your slides now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to ask another seed sponsor for startups to give some remarks. So for this, we have Mr. Tim Romero, who is also a member of our Innovation Advisory Council. Tim, the floor is yours.
Thanks. Thank you, Richard. Thanks for inviting me here. I'm really honored to be here, and I want to congratulate all the award-winning startups we have here today. I've been a supporter of and a part of the Japan Innovation Awards for quite a few years now, and it's been amazing to see how this whole ecosystem has grown. I've participated as a panelist, an advisor, and a couple of years ago, we even recorded an episode of the Disrupting Japan podcast live from this event. So it's really great to be back. And today I'm participating as the head of Google for Startups Japan. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about what it is we do at Google for Startups. So at our core, we connect startups with the right people, products, and best practices to help them grow. But why? What does this really mean if you dig into it? So it's been quite a few years since Google was an actual startup, but that startup DNA is still a big part of who Google is. We understand that when startups do well, everyone does well. Startups are not only driving growth and job growth and economic growth, but startups are the ones pushing the boundaries of what's possible. They're actively solving economic and social problems. We saw this during the pandemic as startups all over the world stepped forward with tremendous breadth of innovation in medicine, in remote work, food delivery, and other areas. And that's always how it is, with startups in every field. And at Google, we love to see people using technology in new ways to solve problems. We love seeing startups using technology in ways that we've never thought of before. We value that. We appreciate that, and we want to support that. So Google for Startups is a global team. We have 6 physical campuses, with Tokyo campus being our newest. And once the COVID restrictions are lifted and we reopen, I'd personally like to welcome all of you to visit us here. But for now, just like these awards, we're fully online. We also run 10 startup accelerator programs and have a partner network of 75 of some of the most supportive startup communities around the world. So how do we help startups? Let me explain it very, very briefly. So we run a lot of programs, but the heart of all of them is connecting founders to the right technology, or teaching them best practices, or making sure we connect them to the right people. So for technology, this often means a deep dive on the Google Cloud platforms, the ads, and a whole host of other technologies that we bring to bear. In terms of best practices, we bring in some of the leading experts from inside Google and around the world to teach things like leadership and hiring practices, OKRs and modern management techniques, and world-leading design and UX. But from the founder feedback we get, it's the connection to the right people that often has the most significant impact. Sometimes the right people are other founders or Googlers, and this is why we maintain an active event and networking schedule at our Google for Startups campuses. We also offer high-touch intensive programs like our Accelerator, Growth Academy, or Residence programs. And here, these programs run for about 3 months each, and we work with a small group of select startups to really help them get to the next level. And over the past year, we've also launched our Black Founders Funds in Europe, the US, and Brazil. And we run intensive high-touch programs to support minority and women founders as well. And it's working. Startups in our community have seen massive growth in sales, fundraising, and jobs created. And we are incredibly optimistic about the future of startups in Japan. So if this all seemed like a whirlwind tour and way too much information to take in at once, like we're barely scratching the surface, it's because it was. There's so much more. So please get in touch via the web, email, or social, and let's talk about this at a more relaxed pace. So thanks very much.
Tim, Mr. Baba, thank you so much for your presentations. This is very interesting, and I hope that people in our audience can meet you during the networking session, and also be in touch after the programs are over. We are going to take a 10-minute break now, and right now I have 14 after the hour. We will resume at 25 minutes after the hour with our Innovation Showcase. This is the heart and soul of the Innovation Awards, where we are featuring 5 up-and-coming Japanese companies with innovations that we think will be very interesting worldwide. So let's take a break. We will see you in 10 minutes.
The first penguin spirit. Despite the possibility of encountering killer whales lurking in the treacherous and icy sea, the first penguin that courageously plunges into the water is referred as the first penguin. Digital Garage is a first penguin in the internet world. In 1994, we created Japan's first personal homepage. In 2000, we launched the first convenience store-based payment system. In 2005, we played a major role in Kakaku.com's listing on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. In 2008, we formed a capital and business partnership with Twitter and supported its localization in Japan. In 2010, we established Open Network Lab, Japan's first seed accelerator program that supports entrepreneurs. In 2013, we opened DG717, an incubation center in downtown San Francisco. And in 2016, we established DG Lab, an open innovation-based R&D organization. The power to tie phenomenons together as a context company comes from the background of cutting-edge efforts to form a new generation. Real and cyber, local and international, marketing and technology, present and future. we have been generating new values by connecting different cultures and ideas.
Fabit is one of the largest Japanese co-working company, founded with the goal of building a vibrant startup ecosystem and incubating innovation. Fabit is a hub for the growing startup community in Japan. We support Japanese companies expanding their business overseas and foreign companies starting business in Japan. There are 23 locations across Japan, and we also have an international location in San Francisco, Hawaii, and Philippines, and operate in Boston area under the name of Workbar. Since we aim to support startups from all angles, we provide much more than just space. We also offer a wide range of business services, including a larger event, which we invite renowned speakers and startups from all over the world as speakers, networking events, discount on branding tour and website development cost, a free job posting site, consultations with specialists, investment opportunities, exclusive SNS platform, and extensive business marketing opportunities. To adjust to the new normal after COVID-19, we Fabit take a measure to protect Fabit members and our staff and continue to make effort to improve our services. There's many opportunities and connection to take advantage of joining the Fabit. We welcome you anytime, and we are hoping working with you. Thank you.
JETRO is a nonprofit organization that provides business support services to U.S. companies expanding to Japan and Japanese businesses expanding abroad. Established in 1958 by the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry, JETRO has over 100 offices around the world in over 50 countries. As a U.S. business, you can benefit from our half-century history, locations in 47 prefectures, and relationships with local communities. But why come to Japan to begin with? The region offers a safe and stable infrastructure, pro-business environment, and ranks as the third largest GDP on the planet. Also, Tokyo Yokohama is the #1 innovation hub in the world. JETRO can help you with all stages of market entry, from incorporation to visa applications to legal regulations and more. We also offer free office spaces in major cities in Japan. In short, we're a one-stop shop for establishing or expanding your business in Japan. JETRO also strives to connect innovative Japanese startups with potential partners and investors in the U.S. Our events and programs enable Japanese businesses to meet and work with American investors and collaborators. It's a win-win for both countries. We'll connect you with the most exciting ideas, cutting-edge tech, and investment opportunities Japan has to offer. Looking for business opportunities with Japan? Interested in Japanese innovation? Talk to JETRO first.
Rakunest is a workplace solution provided by Rakuten USA, located in the heart of Silicon Valley. Combining office space, amenities including meals, and community support, Rakunest's mission is to empower all companies to succeed in Silicon Valley. This past year, while the office space was temporarily closed due to unprecedented world events, Rakunest has responded with innovation and creativity in the face of adversity. Undeterred in the mission, Rakunest has launched the digital Rakunest, a premier online monthly membership service. This initiative combines remote working support with the latest information covering the tech trends, startup information, and networking opportunities. US news updates, industry reports, exclusive webinars, and virtual happy hours all serve to build connections and foster a sense of community.
発展はもちろんジャパンブランドの復権ということに貢献できればと思っています。
Rakunest has some great amenities for a shared workspace. There's plenty of room, great environment, and excellent beverages and snacks.
いろんなキャラクターが入られて、いろいろと情報共有ができるという場所としては、すごいいい場所だと思います。
As Rakunest safely opens back up to an in-person environment, the sense of community has only continued to flourish. Whether it's the full-service facilities, which offer private rooms, cubicles, and meeting rooms, Rakunest benefits other office setups including Wi-Fi, 24/7 security, and daily lunch served in the Rakuten cafeteria. Come and find out why so many Japanese companies choose to call Rakunest home.
Okay, I think that it's about time for us to come back from break. So welcome back. And we're to begin the innovation show. And to introduce the showcase, I would like to introduce my good friend and colleague, Mr. Ken Yasunaga, who wears a number of hats like a lot of us do in the room. Ken is the chief financial officer for a company named Flowadia Corporation, and he's also founding partner of a new venture capital firm, Global Hands-On VC, and he's a member of the steering committee of the Innovation Awards program. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Kind introduction, Richard. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Showcase program. My name is Ken Yasunaga. I've been just to introduce myself. I've been the venture capital for the past 20 years, doing some investment, technology investment in both US and Japan. I'm currently working as CFO of the semiconductor startup, and I read in Japan. And I'm also from this, Go VC. This is called Global Hands-On VC. We are trying to raise a fund at this point. This fund is sort of like a spin-out program for the Showcase program. This is we going to invest in the Japanese technology company and help them go global. So this is what I'm doing. And if you if anyone have some interest in investing to us, I really like to talk. Anyway, this showcase program, just some for the people who doesn't know on the deep know much about the showcase program. This program is started on the 2015. So far, for the past 6 years, we have selected 30 companies, and in addition to have him present in the Silicon Valley, we are arranging a lot of mentors to help them solve their managerial problem and also some global expansion. Within those 30 companies, we have Astroscale or the Spybar, who has migrated to the emerging leaders, and of course the like Claudia, who showed a lot of growth in symposium programming last week. Everybody was stunned by hearing they have their revenue went on to the 32 times larger for the past 5 years since we have selected. And we also have the TBM, who is already a unicorn company, or Treasure Data, which is bought by ARM for the more than $600 million. So there's a lot of Otani-san in here. So we are in this 2021 showcase program. We also selected another additional Otani-san who can be a big winner, or have a multiple function in the big leagues and also to the Japanese market. So we're going to ask each of the showcase company to make a 5-minute presentations. And after that, we're going to have a Q&A session. So I'd like to welcome everybody to put some question in the chat so that we can address to each of your questions. The Q&A time is is about the 3 minutes. So let me first introduce Akippa. Akippa is a parking space sharing service company, and who's representing Mr. Genki Kanaya. He's a CEO. And with the first initial introduction and from the Kanaya-san, I think we have the Kobayashi-san who's going to make some presentation. So Kanaya-san, I have this, showcase trophy. So I'd like to hand it over to you. Kanaya-san, are you there? Okay. So let me pass this one to you. Is it going to your thing? Okay, you got it. Thank you. All right, Kanaya-san, it's your showtime.
Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Genki Kanaya. I'm the founder and CEO of Akippa. I'm very honored to receive this award. Let me hand over to Kobayashi-san to tell our Akippa story. I hope you will enjoy our presentation. Thank you. ありがとうございます。
Thank you, Kanaya-san. Can you hear me, everyone? Is it okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yep. So my name is Hiroyuki Kobayashi, Executive Officer of Akippa. Please let me introduce our company. Our mission is indispensable to the world, and our vision is connect your feeling of missing someone. Next, what is Akippa? Akippa is a C2C marketplace that allows owners of parking spaces to rent them out and the users to make reservations. Let me explain our business model in more detail. First, a user books a parking space and pays a parking fee online. After the user uses the parking space, the parking fee minus a commission fee is paid to the parking space owner as revenue. Our take rate is about 50%. Let's look at the next slide. This is our management team. Our CEO, Kanaya-san, has a unique biography. After high school, he was trying to become a professional soccer player. He had a girlfriend at the time. After the date, he found out there was only $1 left in his wallet. Please don't ask him why. And it started to rain. When he walked through the shopping mall to the subway, he found an umbrella selling for $1. He bought this $1 umbrella, went outside, a couple of businessmen bought it for $3, and he was able to take the train home. Then he realized he don't have to be Cristiano Ronaldo. He should try to be Mark Zuckerberg. And he found it akippa. Now I'd like to discuss our key success factors. The most important factor is how to create our flywheel. This means that the more users and parking spaces we get, the more useful our service becomes. We have increased the number of parking spots and members by combining offline development and digital marketing. In other words, creating our flywheel is creating our moat. Once we have strong network effect, it becomes increasingly difficult to enter the market. In fact, major corporations such as SoftBank, Recruit, and Rakuten have tried to enter the market, but they retreated after a short period. Since our service launched, it has registered over 45,000 parking spots and 2.2 million members in total. Now let's move on to the additional 3 factors. Firstly, we have promoted collaboration with a wide range of business partners, such as large corporations, local governments, sports teams, and so on. These collaborations have led to improved engagement with our users and parking space owners. Secondly, in Japan, the sharing economy is still not well known by some potential users and owners. To relieve their concern, we offer our support options such as a 24/7 call center and specialized insurance for the parking space sharing service. Now to the third factor. We are trying to optimize prices according to supply and demand, like airline tickets and hotels. This price mechanism has led to an increase in income not only for us, but also for parking space owners. Finally, our vision in 2030 is to become the world's #1 parking platform. This is all for our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kobayashi-san. It's a great presentation. It's an exciting model. Let's move on to the Q&A. And I have one question on the chat from Richard. What do you do if someone leaves their car in the parking space after the reservation time is finished?
Yes, good question. In that case, our call center received a call from this user, and the person in call center announced the different hour parking spots and guide them to go there. And of course, the parking fee, and then and then if there is a nearest parking spot, our parking spot, we announce the another coin operated parking spaces, and then the charge will be covered by us.
I see. Interesting. So instead of the coin parking, you have more active communication with the user as well as the parking slot providers. Got it.
Yes,
right.
That's right.
Do you have some plan for the some global expansions? Are you planning to go beyond Japan?
Yes. In future, of course, we prioritize we will increase our share in the Japanese market. The most prioritized. But in future, we'd like to expand our business not only in Japanese market but also in overseas market.
I see. I have another question from Vish. Great presentation. Can you talk about competitive offering?
What?
I think yeah.
What is competitive offering mean?
Competitors, I think.
Yeah.
Just competitor?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the second player in this industry is Perk24. That is a very famous coin-operated parking space operator. But actually, the number of parking spots and the members almost double. Our parking space spots and then members are double compared to them. Then we have already enough, the market share, and then also we think we have already built the network effect. So that's why we can compete with them.
Yeah, and also like you said, dynamic pricing model. That's very interesting for the parking lot. So
yep.
I have another question is, you're doing some parking services, sharing services, and but you started to build your customer base, and also you started to have additional technology like dynamic pricing to, keep the good, to reduce the churn rate, to keep your customer very sticky. Do you have any plan for beyond parking? What's next?
Yeah. Beyond parking.
Yeah.
Can I ask this question to our CEO in Japanese?
金谷さん、パーキングの先には何があるんでしょう？新しいサービス、なんかプランありますか？
日本語でよろしいですか？
ですよ。はい。
ありがとうございます。将来的にはどんどん世の中がですね、まず電気自動車になっていくと思います。2030年代中盤ぐらいから、ガソリン車の新車販売が禁止されていくというところで、そうなってくると、駐車してる間に充電できるとか、継ぎ足しの充電の需要が増えるので、駐車場にですね、どんどんオーナーさんに駐車場のその充電器を設置していただいて、充電の役割も担っていくっていうところと、その先にやはり自動運転の時代が来るときにも、やはり充電スポットとしてやるのと、自動運転のシェアリングの塗り合い場所としてハブになっていく。なので、モビリティハブとして、自動運転のプラットフォームを作っていきたいなというふうには思ってますけどね。
That's very interesting. Let me just translate briefly. So, Kanai-san, we, in this society, gasoline engine has moved into the electrical vehicle. So you need to charge that each car. So, and if the parking lot have enough, battery supply, it will be a hub for the lots of electrical vehicle. And also, autonomous driving will start. So each of the parking area can be the hub for the autonomous car. So if I want to say, okay, I want to get the ride to the station, some autonomous driving vehicle near my home is coming automatically and send me to the train station. Oh, that's very great. So you have really the platform for the car sharing services in the autonomous driving. This is great. Okay. Is there any further question from the audience? Okay. I think this is about the time. Well, thank you, Kanaya-san, and thank you, Kobayashi-san, for the great presentation. And this is great service model. I like to have to see the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, I'd like to introduce Tsunagawa-san, Akemi Tsunagawa of the Bespoke. Bespoke is a chatbot company. It's trying to solve so many problems. So let me hand this over to you, to Tsunagawa-san. Congratulations.
Thanks, everyone. Let me find my slides.
There we go.
All right, I think now it is working. Well, thanks for fixing this. Well, good morning again to everyone. So excited to be here today. My name is Akemi from Bespoke. This is a company I started about 6 years ago, all by myself, based on my personal experience. So about 10 years ago, this is back in 2011, I got stuck on the 20th floor of a high-rise building when the big earthquake was like happening. Back then I was working for the investment bank, so everyone had about like giant monitors, like 8 monitors each. And the beginning of the earthquake was just like a tiny shake. So I remember my colleague, Canadian colleague said, "Oh, am I the only one shaking?" He's like a funny person, always hangover. So we were like, "Oh, Chris again." Then all of a sudden it started shaking really hard. So we ended up like evacuating out of the building. But then as we were taking the evacuation stairs, like we started seeing cracks in the wall. And then when we got to the ground floor, like we were told to wait at the park. But then as we were standing, like we started seeing like 3 buildings shaking so hard to the point like it's almost like touching each other. It's just like a Godzilla movie. And we just had no idea what was happening. And the event itself was like scary enough, but the part like of like not knowing what was happening made us like scared, like even more. And now the sled is not moving. Whoa. How do I get to the next page? Whoa.
There
Yes.
should be an arrow cursor down at the bottom. Oh, you got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I got it. Yeah, so this is like what we would see, like, you know, every time we have like typhoon or like all sorts of natural disaster, like, you know, people are like everywhere and there's no way to walk to like information counter. So fast forward like 10 years later, now I run a company called Bespoke to promote like safe and sustainable tourism using AI chatbot. And today, our service is actually not only available in Japan, it's everywhere in the world. We got lucky with lots of government, lots of emergencies around the world, including COVID. What we do is we use AI chatbot, and what we specialize in is to move people from A to B. That can be used for evacuation. It can be used to manage congestion. It can also be used to collect like data in order to optimize like, you know, behaviors during like emergency and then also like non-emergency. And the way it works is, for instance, we work with many government agencies, government entities, municipalities, airports, basically places where lots of people are. And if you connect to, let's say, like a public Wi-Fi at the airport, our chat window just pops up on your phone. You don't get to choose, we just hijack your window. Then you start asking questions like, okay, like where is my gate? Or like, you know, if it's during emergency, then like, what do I do? Like, where can I stay? All sorts of questions we automate in many different languages. And I'll show you in numbers. So for instance, JNPO is like the travel, Japan National Tourism Organization, one of our biggest clients. And with them, during big typhoon and this is back in 2019, we have a statistics of like, you know, being able to like automate like 96% of questions. That was pretty impressive. And then with Narita Airport, since we started working with them, their airport ranking went from 14th to 7th. This was unexpected. We won't take all credit for it. Another one, Royal Park Hotel, that's like one of the high-end hotel chains in Japan. They ditched the call center as soon as like BBot or chatbot arrive at their hotel. We also work with many places like Tampa Airport in the US, Star Alliance, that's a global project. We work directly with the headquarters in Frankfurt. And the way we charge is simply B2B SaaS. So our partners pay us subscription fees. Then we provide a chatbot for end customers. It's all free. And here's the traction. So in Japan at the moment, one in every few foreign tourists already use our service, but it's not just in Japan. We're available everywhere. So sometimes you might just go on airport Wi-Fi and find our chatbot there. You can always say hi. And differentiators, we built our own technology team, still a bunch of people from Amazon, Google, headquarters. Most of the team are engineers, Western engineers that we stole from those big companies. And our CEO used to be number 3 person for Amazon in Europe. I stalked him for years and he joined us. And the same for CTO, she's also American. I think I am running out of time, but if you have any questions, please email me or find me on LinkedIn. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Okay. Thank you for your presentation. And I have one question to you from Richard. Are you interested in shifting to voice-based AI conversational assistant?
The answer to that would be no. The reason is often, voice is like 2 layers. So voice gets converted into text, and then text sends a request to the original AI engine. So it's like 2 layers. And for us, we specialize in like natural language processing, only the text part, and the audio is like something completely different. So what we do is like we just use like a off-the-shelf type of services. Like there are lots of APIs available, and sometimes we connect those 2 together, but our expertise still remains in the original natural language processing part. It's the original engine we built for this specific purpose. So we get invited to speak at many international conferences to present our own technology and stuff like that. So unless we get a lot of money and lots of talents, we probably wouldn't shift it out of the current model.
I see. Got it. Thanks. Let me ask this question. You've been working like investment banks. You started with the Macquarie or Deloitte as a consulting, and also you work for the Fidelity. That's a fascinating career. What really? I mean, I understand the earthquakes happening and you feel the need, but what really drive you to start your own company?
I simply like the product that we built today. It didn't exist like 6 years ago. And the earthquake Godzilla story wasn't the only one that I had. I also got involved. I was also in the middle of the terrorist attack last year. And, every time there are like problems, big problems like, oh, I am about to die. And then I'm like, oh, what if we have this and that? And I feel like oftentimes it just doesn't exist. It's almost like, you go to a restaurant and eat something that you're really, impressed with. Then you can't forget about it. And then, you go to a supermarket, try to find like similar ingredients and put them all together just because you just, want to have that experience again. So to answer your question, it was simply, the product that drove me, to kind of decide I want to leave my banking or finance career to start something completely new. And that was definitely the best decision I've ever made so far.
Good. I think that's another way is, you like the product, but you like to help people, especially in the disaster situations or even the tourists. You like to help the people. I think that's the major reason, I guess. Okay, great. I have another question from Vish. Nice story and enthusiasm. Akemi, there are so many real-time communication service out there. How do you stand out and plan to grow as this is still a noisy space?
Right. Okay. When we first started back in 2015, there was almost like no competitor. So we were like always the first to start something. Like for instance, first AI chatbot for big international airport, first AI chatbot for emergency response for the government. Because we've always been very lucky to capture the moment. Big clients actually simply come to us. We don't do like active reach out, like they normally just come to us, but this would not continue forever. So right now what we specialize in is to move people from A to B, which is very different from most other chatbot companies do, because most chatbot companies simply answer questions and that's it. It's just a FAQ automation, but we do like evacuation, congestion management. We help businesses like sell more goods by like circulating people. So those are like some of the differentiators that we currently have. And then another one is because we started early, I have to be honest that like Narita Airport project was the reason we became a little bit more successful than most other companies. Because of Narita, we're able to capture a lot of data most other companies currently don't have. And that helps us train our AI system much faster than anyone else. I don't know if I answered your question okay. Halfway through, I forgot the question.
Well, it's basically asking for your competitive or sustainable competitive advantage.
Yes.
You answer this, AI, how to, the quality of your AI technology is definitely one of your advantage, and you got that with the fast mover advantage. I got it.
Yeah,
okay.
Basically, we still lots of AI engineers. They make the original engine, and we don't use anything like off the shelf aside from the audio stuff.
Okay, great. Well, I think our time has come. Well, thank you very much, Akemi-san. Sorry for the some initial technical problem, but it was great presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, great. Okay, let's move on to the next showcase company, bitBiome. bitBiome is they're using a microbiome to save the world. Representing our CEO, Kimihiko Sato-san. Sato-san, first of all, let me make sure this is the right one. Okay. All right, Sato-san, here's the trophy.
Thank you.
Okay, great. It's your show time.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you see? So, hi everyone. This is Kimi Sato, CEO of bitBiome. bitBiome is a biotechnology and deep tech startup founded 3 years ago. We have a specific technology of the single cell genomics for the microbes. Sorry. Microbiomes are enormous untapped resources with massive value. It's been said that only less than 0.001% of the microbial species on Earth has been discovered. In spite of that, there is a large and growing market size of final products relevant to microbes, such as pharmaceuticals, food, agriculture, and cosmetic industries. So there are two keys for precise identification of microbiome and its genes. One-by-one identification and time required. Classic isolation and cultivation has difficulty in establishing incubation conditions for each microorganism. As for 16S ribosomal RNA shotgun metagenomics, they are just over overall community genome analysis as depicted. However, bitmap addresses and solves the issues of these conventional methods. Our bitmap workflow here is starting from the sample of microbes, then isolate cells by utilizing microfluidics devices and gel encapsulation. This is like an image. The next is a DNA amplification process, each one of the single cell is captured within the gel capsule, and then within this small one tube, millions of capsules can be handled all at the same time, from lysing to extract DNA and amplifying DNA within the same capsule. One of our questions is a magic cocktail to lyse, extract, and amplify DNA equally for all microbes. Then finally, we select those DNA amplified capsules, then conducting next generation sequencing to understand the holistic view of the genomic information of those cells. In comparison with our competitors, frankly speaking, we are the only one player who can provide single-cell genomics for microbe. We secure a technological competitive advantage by 8-filed patent and unpublicized magic cocktail, as I said before. So we piled up our database to approximately 70,000 single-cell genome. We make use of this massive and unique data as blueprint for bioproduction into waste. So we select and express its highly valuable genes on its own, firstly. Secondly, we offer the genome data to synthetic biology company. So our target markets are drug discovery market and synthetic biology market. So just one example, we obtained much larger data in comparison with conventional methods. So this is number of collected one kind of gene cluster, BGCs, biosynthetic gene cluster. It is more than 15 times compared to conventional shotgun metagenomics. So, and almost all of gene alignment by single cell are unknown. It means no record on public database. So it is really untapped resources. So for example, we can mine genome data of soil microbiome sample. So it is just image, but we got a lot of a huge amount of, for example, protease-like genes sublysing, one kind of detergent, laundry detergent. And we found more than 100 times activity of enzymes among genes from our database. So it is the final slide. It is our business model, bio-innovation platform with microbiology genome data. So there are 3 steps. First, bitmap analysis service. It is just free-form model. And we can accumulate data, genome data plus metadata. And we can make a bioproduction process. So there are A to D monetize how to monetize our data. So for example, A, in-house development of lead compounds, drug discovery. For example, C, target gene mining for biosynthetic player. And of course, we can make bitmap licensing to some companies, for example, pharmaceutical companies. And we are really discussing global giants in each target market for collaboration from A to E. So let's unlock the potential of microbes together. Thank you.
Thank you, Sato-san. Great presentations. Let me, I have one questions. Hold on. What are the biggest application areas for your platform? For example, medicine or agriculture or something else?
Yep. So my answers are 2. So drug discovery. So we can find some kind of antibiotics to prevent or cure disease like cancers caused by some microbes. So it is the first target. And second target is synthetic biology, like Ginkgo Bioworks or Zymergen or Amylase or something like that. It is the global giant of synthetic biology, and synthetic biology market is very, how can I say, uprising market. as you may know. So our main targets are these two markets.
I see. Thank you. I'm basically a venture capital, so I always think about exit. How you make the shareholder can make money. Of course, you have a chance for the to go public, but since you touched and you touched into the so many different application area, so you have multiple business opportunity. So if someone is interested in buying your company, who would that be?
I'm sorry. So I beg your pardon. The last phrase.
Who can be your M&A candidate?
Okay. So basically, we are aiming at IPO, but in case of M&A, the potential M&A acquisitor is synthetic biology player, or like some pharma, or maybe Google or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we can make a data business.
Yeah. That's interesting. I think Team Romero-san is here today, so maybe he would be interested. Okay, I have another question. Is your business model based on the DB services, database services?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So from A to D, it is from our genome database, and just business model E is from our analysis service platform. So, by my will, we would like to make a lot of parallel revenue sources from A to D, leveraging our database.
Okay, got it. Another question is, how much capital is required to make you a viable business?
Variable business. Okay, so we already founded 1 billion yen, so $100 million, like, and for the next series C round, we'd like to get more than double of our funding. Fast funding.
Yeah, typically, when you to come to this, bioproduction phase, how much time is necessary?
It depends on the application, of course, but for example, for drug discovery, it takes 3 years for licensing out, because we don't conduct clinical trial by using human clinical sample. So just just from vitro model to mouse model. So it takes 3 years.
Okay, got it. Okay, great. Thank you, Sato-san. It's a great presentation, and
thank you very much.
This is a good model. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So let's move on to the next showcase company. That is Idein. Represent Nakamura-san is here, Koichi Nakamura-san. Let me first of all pass on this one. And this time I go this way. Hopefully you can catch it. Okay, Nakamura-san, thank you. So it's your show time.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. I am Koichi Nakamura, the founder and CEO of Idein. So let me share my screen. Okay, so I'm very honored to receive this award. Thank you very much. And we Idein are challenging the problem on physical world data acquisition. And we are offering ActoCast. So I will introduce this product. So data is so-called new oil of the 21st century. And there is 2 kinds of oils. So data in cyberspace and data in physical space. And the data in cyberspace is very much utilized in many businesses, But data in physical space is not so much. So there is a pain. So no acquisition of physical world data. So there is a lot of disincentives. So building, so to take physical world data, the AI technology such as computer vision or voice processing is required, and so developing AI apps is very difficult. And in addition to that, the company have to develop a system, and there's also privacy risks. And then when completed a POC, a proof of concept, then there will be a scalability problems. So the most of AI system is not scalable. So as a result, the created value is very poor. So the important insight is that the non-AI part is extremely crucial for scalable AI system. But most AI companies only focuses on AI, of course, because they are AI companies. But at the scale, for scaling their system, a non-AI parts such as security, privacy, scalable infrastructure, or large-scale deployment to the physical space, building an ecosystem on the top of their system, service, legal issues, the cost reduction. So lots of problems appear in scale their services. And Idein have been focusing on non-AI part from its founding phase. So we released ActCast, a physical world data acquisition platform using Edge AI technology last year, January. So the concept of ActCast is that collecting physical space data using AI technology such as computer vision, voices, sensors, and all AI processing is done on the edge, on the device, and only send the metadata, summarized data to the cloud. And the characteristics of our service is that easy to use, low-cost devices. So actually, this part is our very strong technological advantage, and low running cost because the low networking traffic and no server cost, and scalable infrastructure. And this part is unique. We have a marketplace for applications and solving privacy problems because the pictures or voices is not sent to the cloud, just as metadata will be sent to the cloud. And this is our business model. So we deploy, our customer deploy lots of devices, so number of devices, at times application price. So, and the price of applications is different by applications, but current average prices is $30 per device per month. And the applications is sold on this marketplace. And we take the margin of 30% margin of that. And the traction. So we actually, it's still in the middle of the growth phase, but one client, the Japanese biggest convenience store, it will grow to $2 million ARR. And the client B, the telecom company, is using ActCast to the digitalization of the retail shop, $6 million ARR. And the client C is a car industry in Japan, and we are using ActCast to gather the data of the autonomous vehicle and also the parking lot. And I think it will be required more than 5 years from now, but the potential is very huge, and more pipelines. And we are able to collect over 100 partners within a year from its launch. So we are now we able to bootstrap the ecosystem, and now we are activating them to make more big business by themselves. So this is our ActCast, and this is our company's mission. So we are challenging that. Enabling software to handle all kinds of real-world information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nakamura-san. Could you maybe put your video on? I'd like to see your face.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I have one question. You haven't touched in your presentation, but you are selected as the ARM AI Partner Program as well as the NVIDIA Inception Program. So that's a big two names. I mean, what they like about you? I mean, it is software or platform. Why you are selected? Like kind of big player.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I skipped that because it's only 5 minutes. So, we are selected as one of ARM AI partner because our core technology is embedding very sophisticated AI onto a very cheap device, not cheap, resource limited AI. So embedded system. Actually, our software can run AI 2 times faster than ARM's software. So actually, we are fastest AI acceleration technology. We have the fastest AI acceleration technology in the world. So anyways, also something like that.
Right. So which direction your engineering, you put more engineering resources in and try to develop more better product? Is this going to be a hardware side or platform side or AI engine side? Which part of it is more you put your resources?
That part will change on our stage. So for the early stage, we need very strong weapon. So we focus on device technology. So because we able to deploy, we able to use 10 times cheaper device in comparison to our competitors. So this is very strong competitive advantage, and we able to bootstrap our business, and then we will move to our strengths from the technology to the ecosystem. So now we are trying to move the competitive advantage from to the ecosystem building.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another question. What's your global expansion plan?
Actually, from the beginning, we aim to expand to global. So our service is built on English and the English based privacy policy and user agreement and so on. So product is ready, and our company's the teams is not ready yet. So now we are building team, and from the late next year we will move to US. We think move US. So we need the advice of the supporters. So please give us some advices. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. I have one more question. Is Japan moving to the edge computing?
Is
Japan moving to edge computing?
Yes, of course. So the privacy issue is very big. So especially for the retail customers and the autonomous and car industry, so they are taking the picture of the person. So privacy risk is very important. So sending a picture to the cloud is not admissible. So this is the biggest reason, and of course the cost.
Yeah. Okay. It's great. Okay, so thank you so much, Nakamura-san. It was a great presentation. Yeah,
thank you very much.
Interesting business model. Okay, good. Thank you. So next, we'll move on to Luca Science. Luca Science is the company that enables functional mitochondria as therapeutic agency. So agents. Okay, let me pass this trophy one to the Rick Tsai-san. Thank you. Here you go. Oh, you're muted. Okay.
So thank you so much, Yasunaga-san. Yeah. It's really a pleasure and honor. So let me share my screen. So good morning and afternoon. For those of you in the US, you probably already have a long day. Since I'm the last one to present, I hope your battery will hold up. We are Luca Science, a company that focuses on energy for life. So what is the difference between budding green leaves coming out of a tree or a piece of wood lying on the forest floor? I'll say life is only possible when energies are provided. Are you seeing my screen okay? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So life is only possible when structures are provided with energy. So I think it's very important. But the treatment to address bioenergetic deficiency have not really been addressed in modern medicine. We probably have all learned in school that mitochondria are power plants of our cells. But did you know that just like your cell phone battery, mitochondrial function decreases about 8% per decade with aging? So like any well-functioning machines, our tissues and organs are highly dependent on their energetic state to function properly. Therefore, it is not surprising the organs with the highest energy demands, like our brain and our hearts, are most prone to damages. Actually, mitochondria are a lot more than just power plants of our cells. In recent studies, mitochondria is being recognized as an integrative hub coordinating our immune and metabolic systems. This is actually a paper published at the end of last year. NASA actually found mitochondrial changes are key to health problems for astronauts who actually stay in the space for a long time. For the first time, with our proprietary technology, we're able to isolate intact and functional mitochondria. And we have mitochondria delivery technologies. And in the future, we can modify and engineer our mitochondria with different attachments to improve targeting stability and efficacy. Here's a picture of our mitochondria with the intact structures. They're functional, even after free storage. And just like a battery lighting up a light bulb, here's our mitochondria showing their positive membrane potential, lighting up like a Christmas tree. Finally, because they can be stored, we can mass produce these mitochondria from our source cells and have a viable off-the-shelf commercial model. Actually, we're not the first one who came up with the idea of using mitochondria to treat disease or injury. A group in Boston Children's Hospital have taken this concept and showed that mitochondria working in babies with severely damaged heart on ECMO machines. This story actually was quite sensational and was reported in New York Times in 2018. Although this is quite amazing, however, there are a few limitations. First, the mitochondria they use is from patients' own tissue. And two, the mitochondria needs to be isolated at bedside. Therefore, the use for emergency situation like heart attack or stroke is rather limited. For the proof of concept, we used the mitochondria were isolated from human umbilical cord in our lab. We shipped them to an animal facility and gave it to rats with heart attack. Here's a result showing a significant improvement in heart function in both 2 and 4 weeks compared to conventional homogenized mitochondria everyone uses. We have also observed this improved function evident in 24 hours, which is fundamentally different from a stem cell regenerative therapy, showing that our mitochondria may have a protective effect in ischemic reperfusion injury in heart attack. Here's the situation. Just imagine when you have a heart attack, the dark area is where your heart muscle are dying because they have no oxygen. When you get rushed to the hospital, the cardiologist will use a catheter, like the picture shown here, with a balloon to open up your blocked artery. And this is the moment we can apply our mitochondria off the shelf to prevent ischemic reperfusion injury of your heart to preserve the function. It is like we're giving your heart cell a seatbelt or airbag to prevent injury from the oxygen reperfusion. Our MI program is just a tip of the iceberg. As a proof of concept, since mitochondria are essentially in all of our cells, you can imagine the wide range of possibility of applications. To prioritize our development, we're currently working on 4 pipelines shown here in red. Our programs are still relatively early in stages. We're conducting our MI program with a large animal right now. We have obtained AMED's funding for working on COVID-19, acute respiratory distress syndrome last year. And also we're working very closely with the University of Oxford on intrauterine growth restriction to give energy to placenta to prevent severe premature birth. Lastly, we're working on reviving T-cell exhaustion for cancer treatment. What is really exciting is that we're actually observing our mitochondria getting taken up by multiple cell types and showing improved biogenesis, and some even with changing phenotypes. The company was established in 2018, and we grew from a team of 4 to 16 last year with diverse global talents. Our founder, CSO, took his last company public in 2009, and I myself worked for Merck Research Laboratory for 14 years. We're planning to raise our global Series A funding around $50 million towards the end of this year. This is my last slide. 40 years ago, nobody would believe antibody could be dominant the blockbuster chart as we see today. And 20 years ago, probably no one would believe CAR T can be one of the most expensive drugs. And I believe 10 years from now, mitochondria and organelle therapy may become one of the novel class of therapy. Here's a picture of SpaceX launching, challenging a new frontier, just like us, trying to pioneer a new class of medicine. And you never know, when you make a trip to Mars one day, you may need our drug to keep your mitochondria healthy. Thank you very much.
Nice. Great. Yeah, Richard Bronson will need it. Well, yes. Thank you for the presentation. Yeah, great one. I have one question. Hold on, let me bring that up. How close are you to clinical trials? Will there be a problem with manufacturing sufficient quantities of mitochondria?
Excellent questions. So I actually have a backup slide here, if I can just show you quickly. Yeah, so this is our stage. Actually, we're relatively early. We just, our lead program is in myocardial infarction, I just mentioned. We're actually doing in large animal. We're gonna start our GLP tox program in the fall. So we're probably aiming to get our therapy in human in 2023.
Okay. Good. I mean, you have many applications, myocardial infarctions and others. Why why is this order? It is a matter of the demand, or why you prioritize myocardial infarctions?
That's an excellent question. Actually, we're basically trying to step on the shoulder of our predecessor's success. The reason I point that out is the most advanced program is what I just pointed out, the Harvard program. They actually done it. It proved in human, in babies, how it works. It's just that their limitation is autologous. And because the quality of mitochondria, they cannot be stored. And we have advantage over that. Therefore, if we can prove that we can do the same, but better and with a commercializable model, I think that will be an initial success. However, I think the biggest potential is naturally not in myocardial infarction. It's the mechanism of action that actually we discovered with our mitochondria. So as we actually using this as a proof of concept, we actually the biggest potential is actually the pipeline, the platform technology that we're developing, and be able to provide engineering to these mitochondria as individual IP in the future.
See, got it. Thanks. I have one more question from the audience, Reiko Namikawa-san. Can you talk about the competitors?
Yes, we do. So the group from Harvard, it's actually, the company name is CellV. They actually, I think if you look up at the website, the spelling is CELLVIE. They're focusing on producing this little machine that you can use in the hospital to harvest mitochondria at bedside. And their first indication is actually for organ transplantation to prevent kidney transplant failure. So that's one competitor. Another competitor that we identified is a company called Minovia in Israel. And their approach is actually to use mitochondria to treat mitochondrial disease. However, their administration also, they give the mitochondria in the petri dish, and then when the cell takes up the mitochondria, then they use that cell as a cell therapy to give it to mitochondrial disease patients. So both of them are very different from our approach. And I think fundamentally because the uniqueness of a mitochondria that we're able to harvest, the quality of mitochondria able to be stored. So the picture you see, the lighting up, we can actually freeze them in the refrigerator for 4 weeks and bring them back, and they can still light up like that, like a light bulb.
Great. Okay. Okay, so I think its time is come. You know, it was very interesting technology, and I really look forward to, hearing your success in near future. Well, thank you very much, Rick-san, and
Thank
big
you.
applause to the Rick and all the showcase company who presented today. So I think this will be the end of this showcase presentation session. I'm sure that, that there will be some breakout networking session. So if you guys have any questions to our showcase company, please jump into the break room, introduce each other, and ask as many questions as possible. So I think I will bring the mic back to Richard.
Thanks, Ken, and thank you for emceeing the showcase session, and congratulations again to all of the 5 showcase companies. I think that we have some exciting companies to watch from now. As Ken mentioned, we will be moving to breakout sessions in just a few minutes where you can actually talk. You don't just have to put your questions in chat. And so we look forward to very interactive breakout sessions. First, though, I'd like to ask our seed sponsor, Pasona, to give us some comments. Mr. Ed Hayward, who is the Director of Staffing. Ed, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And thank you for showing that picture pre-COVID when I didn't have a beard. So let me share my screen here. I'm sorry, just a second. I want to get it to go to full screen. Try that. Okay. So I'm excited to talk to you about Pasona and share with you what we're doing. Pasona North America was established in 1985 and has 10 offices across the United States. It's the largest Japanese talent acquisition firm that is focused on the Japanese business in the United States and also holds international networks in various countries. Although we are most famous for recruiting, we have expanded our services to encompass all talent acquisition services as well as other outsourcing services. Last year, we created an executive search division to focus on higher level positions. And this year, we launched an engineering outsourcing services group for our client companies with product design needs. We are continuing to increase the number of services we can offer in order to better meet the needs of our customers. We are setting ourselves apart from other recruiting companies with our holistic approach to talent acquisition. We know the needs of our customers are changing now more than ever, and we are working hard to change along with them. We no longer just think of ourselves as a recruiting firm that provides candidates. We still provide a lot of recruiting services, but have started thinking much bigger. We continue to expand our capabilities with the intention of being able to solve all of our customers' talent acquisition needs. We are currently preparing to add a virtual HR business partner service to our portfolio of services to provide a new option for companies that want to increase the quality of their human resource capabilities while cutting costs. We are evolving from a recruiting company to a talent acquisition process outsourcing company. This will provide our client companies with a much higher level and broader selection of HR services. The TAPO approach gives partners a choice of having us provide a complete talent acquisition service or just parts of the service as needed. For example, sometimes our partners have wanted us to conduct the interviews and onboarding processes for a position, but using candidates that they have already identified. Our candidates are very important to us, and they know that by the way we treat them. We work closely with them to find the perfect position at the perfect company. We aren't just a vendor to our clients, we are their partners. We work to provide them with whatever they need to succeed in the North American market. Some of our clients are large global corporations that want to reach the next level. Other clients are small startups just getting a foothold in the US. We work closely with them to not only fill their talent acquisition needs, but to provide other services so they can focus on what they do best and leave everything else to us. We are dedicated to helping all of our partners overcome the challenges of growing in a foreign market to help them obtain the success they came here for. If you have questions or would like more information, please contact us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And thanks to all of our sponsors for supporting the Innovation Awards program. We have a few minutes before we go into the breakout sessions, and I do have a little bit of instructions about the breakout sessions, but for this main kind of plenary part of the program, I'd like to ask Mr. Takahide Akiyama, the president and CEO of Japan Society of Northern California, to give us a few remarks.
Thank you, Richard. Good evening or good morning. I'm Takahide Akiyama, the president of Japan Society of Northern California. Thank you for joining us at the second day of our 11th Annual Innovation Awards Symposium. I hope you've been enjoying today's program, great program. We are not yet coming to the end of the symposium, but before we move to the second half of today's meeting, on behalf of Japan Society of Northern California and US Asia Technology Management Center of Stanford University, I'd like to say a few words to express our deep appreciation to all the people and organizations involved in this symposium. Thank you, Namba-san, for your very insightful comments and your wonderful recommendations to all of us. We very much appreciate your joining us today out of your very busy schedule. Good luck for the new venture. Thank you, all the showcase companies, for sharing your wonderful new technologies and innovative business model. They're very impressive. I'm sure that everyone agrees to it. And I'm sure you will continue to make good progress in the coming months and years to make great impact. It's been fascinating 2 days, today and last Thursday, to meet and to listen such innovative entrepreneurs who are making breakthrough technologies that can disruptively change the world and our life in the future. I would like to again congratulate the Sunbridge Emerging Leader Award winners, Color and Astroscape. I would also like to express once again our deep appreciation to all the sponsors for their generosity, in particular, Mr. Alan Miner and the Sunbridge Group, MUFG Union Bank, and Morgan Lewis Beckers. And you're seeing other names. I'm sorry I cannot read out all the names, but very much appreciate. We're also deeply grateful to the gracious support of Consulate General of Japan in San Francisco. Thank you very much, Consul General Maeda. We'd like to thank the judges for their time and expertise in the selection of those great companies, and for mentors, for their showcase companies, and those who kindly are also going to take a role of facilitators at the breakout rooms. And lastly, but not least, the staff of Japan Society and the US Asia Technology Management Center at Stanford University for their hard work. At this time, I'd like to thank Dr. Richard Dasher and US Asia Technology Management Center of Stanford University. They have been a superb partner for this program from the very beginning 11 years ago. Also, I should mention one more individual and his dedication. That is Mr. John Thomas, Vice Chair of Japan Society, who has spearheaded with Richard to successfully grow the Innovation Award program to this day. Thank you very much, Richard and John. Please join me giving a round of big applause to all of them and everyone involved. Thank you very much. We will continue our efforts to further connecting Silicon Valley and San Francisco ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship with Japan. For us to continue our endeavor, we need your continued support. So I humbly request your kind support and participation in the future. And we will also welcome your new ideas and suggestions. With that, I would like to hand over to Richard to say a few words before we move to breakout rooms. Thank you very much for your participation and support. See you all next year in person at Stanford campus. Thank you very much.
Takahide, thank you so much for your kind remarks. All of us, I speak for myself and for Kimberly, we're very happy to be able to participate in this with Japan Society of Northern California. It's been a great year. We're going to go into breakout sessions now. So there's a couple of things that I want to point out. We have until 25 after the hour for these breakout sessions. So we will give kind of timing a few times in the middle of the session to let you know how many minutes you have, because we'd like to encourage you to visit several rooms, get to meet the CEOs and the key people in the showcase companies. We also have two special breakout rooms, one with Mr. Mike. Mike, can you raise your hand and kind of say hello? You're still muted.
Yeah, I can't do two things at the same time anymore. This is Zoom, so hi, everyone.
Thanks, Mike. Mike is the CEO of Cloudian and gave us a great prior winter report last week. And also, as I mentioned earlier today, Mr. Dai Watanabe is going to talk to us about Delight Ventures, the new venture capital company that he and Ms. Namba are putting together or have put together a couple of years ago. Dai, say hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Okay, so go to the breakout rooms. The way I'm looking at my screen right now, there is a toolbar at the bottom of the screen that has a 3-dot thing that says more. If you click on the 3 dots, there should be a pop-up menu that comes up and it'll say breakout rooms or something like that. If you click on that, you'll get a list of all the rooms and you can select the room that you would like to go to. Now, we've hardwired it in advance so that our company representatives and also facilitators from the awards program are going to be assigned to the rooms. This is the way the rooms look. So Akippa with President Kanaya and Kobayashi, both of whom presented, and Phil, thank you for facilitating. We have Bespoke with Ms. Tsunagawa, the CEO, and Chaco, thank you much for facilitating. bitBiome, we have Mr. Sato, the CEO, and Mr. Tsuda, the head of R&D. Bill, thank you for coming in to facilitate. Idein with President Nakamura. Kevin, thank you for facilitating. And Luca Science with Dr. Tsai, the CEO. And Akiko, thank you for facilitating. Tim Romero, who was one of our sponsors presenting earlier, is going to facilitate for Mike. And John Thomas who was mentioned just now as a key person behind the awards, is going to facilitate for Dai Watanabe. Feel free to go back and forth between the rooms. There is no formal agenda. This is a meet and greet, find out more, ask questions that you didn't have a chance to ask in the program, and have a good time. I will see you again at 25 after the hour.
Okay, we are opening the rooms now, so you should be able to choose.
Welcome back, everybody. As you're coming back into the room, we're delighted that we were able to have some small conversations and, relaxed discussions for the last few minutes. I don't see Larry. Is Larry available?
Larry is right here.
I'm here. Oh, there's Larry. Okay, great. So I want to ask Larry if you'd kind of give your kind of wrap up of the whole session. Everyone, Larry Greenwood is the chairman of the board of the Japan Society of Northern California. And also like co-chair of the steering committee of the Innovation Awards. Larry?
Thanks, Richard, and thanks for this opportunity. Although I wonder having a non-technical person make the wrap up is a very good idea. I came to the Bay Area 6 years ago after working about 40 years in government and with governments. And so I bring a kind of a government perspective. And I remember when I first came, I was frankly a little skeptical of the Silicon Valley narrative of, we're going to solve all the problems of the world here in our startups in Silicon Valley. And while it's probably safe to say that some of that narrative can be over the top, I have to say the longer I'm here, and particularly the more I interact with technology companies and through in particular the Innovation Symposium, this is my 6th one now that I've participated in, I'm beginning to change my mind on that. And maybe there is something to this. I can change the world culture after all. And I think today's or this week's awardees are a case in point, because they really are addressing some of the big problems of the world. I mean, and outside of this world, as we already heard from last week, from astroscale, from clearing space debris, to closer to home, dealing with the COVID pandemic. And we had Color, who has been very active in that and setting up testing here in California. We just heard from two of the showcase companies that are very much involved in health issues from very different perspectives, but also very exciting perspectives. Mitochondria, we were just talking about aging in that group, and who knows, is immortality possible? Now there's something that Elon Musk could get behind, right? Although I'm not sure if there'd be a lot of support for that generally, but anyway, the Bespoke and looking at safety in travel in an uncertain world. And then Akippa, you might think parking is a small problem, but it really is an important problem for densely populated urban areas. And most of the world's population in 10 to 20 years is going to be living in densely populated urban areas. So these are big issues, and the companies are really taking these things on and have a vision for taking them on, which I think is impressive. Some of these ventures will succeed, some won't. Although I want to echo what Richard had said earlier. I think it was last week. Our record of picking awardees for this program has been excellent, and I've often said that if Japan Society could have invested in the awardees for the symposium over the last 11 years, we wouldn't have to do any fundraising anymore, which would make my life really nice. Sadly, that's not the case. But let's face it, not all of these companies will succeed. But even those who fail have created a base of knowledge and experience that is going to be then taken on by other entrepreneurs who will then carry on and make further progress in these very important global issues. And so I think it's just that process is great. The other observation I would make is that I think, and without exception, every one of the 7 companies that we've honored this last 2 weeks, they all started off with a global vision, and I think that's really is interesting, and in particular for the 5 Japanese showcase companies, because startup companies, being an international guy, former diplomat, one of the first questions I asked of the startups, for example, over in the shared workspace when I was going to work every day for Japan Society, I asked them about their international kind of vision, and almost none of them had that, because they were struggling day to day just to survive, right? And so it's very hard for small startup companies to think international. All 5 of these showcase companies are thinking international from the get-go, and I think that's really interesting. I would just go back and my final remark just to say that, something that Namba-san said, which is, Japanese, US, well, she was talking about the benefits that Japanese companies can have of plugging into the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Silicon Valley. And I would then also add the value that we get as Americans, and particularly here in the Valley, of Japanese ideas and innovations. And it's obviously that synergy, that interaction, that was the original vision of this symposium 11 years ago that led Alan Miner and John Thomas to launch it. And it's just great to see examples, and every year it just gets better. Alan says that, has been saying that for many years, and I agree. It just gets better and better in terms of the quality of the, in particular the showcase companies that we're featuring. So let me just thank all and congratulate all the awardees. Thank all the great organization that's gone into this. Thank Richard in particular for his leadership, and in the end, obviously all the participants for being part of this, and including the members of the IAC. So again, thanks, and thanks for the opportunity, Richard.
Thank you, Larry, and everyone. We look forward to seeing you again next summer for the 12th annual Innovation Awards Symposium, in person, 99% certain, and probably at Stanford, 99% certain. And so we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for participating, everybody. Bye-bye.